Minecraft 1.14 is building up to be an amazing successor to the 1.13 update, adding many new blocks, mechanics, and more. With villages being the main focus of 1.14, hence the village and pillage title, I wanted to experiment with different concepts for new village and villager types. My name is System Z, and today I'd like to show you my concept for an underground cave village in Minecraft 1.14. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more building related content and 1.14 news. Underground villages in Minecraft 1.14. This is a concept I've been working on for quite some time. And now that we've got an update solely focused on villagers and villages, I think this is the perfect time to bring this idea to light. So ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to my underground village. Hold that thought. Before we get started, I've got a bit of a challenge for you guys. Let me know in the comments below how many times I say the word underground in this video. Spoiler alert, it's way too many times. Alright, let's go ahead and jump right back into it. The first thing you're going to notice is the beautiful stalactites hanging from the ceiling. Now this is a great showcase of how I was able to use the new blocks to create this very ominous cavern. Using the various new techniques I was able to come up with the new blocks. First and foremost, you can see the stalactites hanging from the ceiling, and I think that's a great example. We've made use of the stone stairs and slabs as well as the wall variants to create a very, very, very detailed terrain which really adds everything together. I was also able to use a couple of the new crafting stations to create a very nice and detailed profession system throughout the villager houses, as well as place barrels all throughout the place to allow the new villagers to store their new items. I've also got a very, very cool looking campfire design right in the center, which brings it all together, providing life and fire and lighting to the actual village. And I think it's a very crucial piece, just the centerpiece that really helps tie it all in together. Now, before we go too much into detail about the actual build, let's go ahead and talk about the concept. I think it'd be very, very cool to have villages underground, and there's a couple of reasons why. We don't really have that many villages all throughout the place that are different from one another. If you go searching above ground, you're gonna find the same village just in different building styles over and over and over again. Now obviously 1.14 does aim to fix that, so I think this would be the perfect update to allow us to find an underground cave village. As there really isn't much going on underground, and with all the new different stone blocks, I feel like this would be a great opportunity to create something very, very cool. You can use the different blocks to get various different, slopes and angles to create a really detailed cavern. Now, obviously, with a new village underground comes new villager types, the Neanderthal, and I'm really proud of this. This caveman design is something I came up with. Well, I didn't come up with it, but I did design this texture, and I think it looks really, really cool. Now, what they could do is trade the different materials you find underground. We don't really have a villager dedicated on mining, and I think this would be a great opportunity to get one. So obviously in this example, we're able to buy the various different ingots and treasures found underground, and this is a great way for players who are underground who find a village to get rewards based on the villager trading system. Now obviously with the new villager comes a question, how do they survive underground? There's really not much life and different materials for them to really survive and thrive underground. Obviously above ground they can flourish with the infinite resources, but underground is a lot more tricky. Now that was a question I had to ask myself. Would this village really make sense? And my answer is yes it would, and here's why. Throughout a lot of caves, you're going to find water. Now, this is a great dramatic example of water in caves, but in this example, with the fishing mechanics, the villagers underground could obviously get food from the fishing mechanics and allow themselves to eat that. They could also get carrots from zombie drops or seeds from dungeons, the various different foods that you can find underground. As far as the wood goes, normally if this was oak wood, they could have found it in mine shafts, but I think this would be a great way to introduce a different type of wood underground as well. It's always nice to find wood underground as well to be able to make sticks in case you do run out underground, so the more wood underground, the better. We've also got the various different professions for the underground villagers. Now, I think they should all be Neanderthal looking, but perhaps they could sell different resources. I think they should also have different professions based on their security. Obviously, underground, it's going to be a lot more dangerous than it would be above ground, unless it was nighttime, obviously, but Underground, it's permanently nighttime. There are mobs everywhere, in case you didn't know. I mean, take a look around this ravine. Obviously, I've got mobs off right now, but it could be very dangerous. This is a fantastic opportunity for the villagers to, practice different techniques for survival. For example, we've got the Fletcher's building over here, which allows the different villagers, perhaps, to practice their arrow target practice, and, of course, use the Fletcher to create different tipped arrows and all that good stuff. Perhaps there could even be a chest or a villager over here who does trade different arrows, and, of course, the Fletcher table to allow us to craft those in easy different ways. This is a great example of a new profession underground. We could also have a fisherman, for example. I don't think we really have any of those yet, who perhaps does fish underground, or just a general fisherman would be cool, and allows us to buy fish and the various different types of normal ones as well. Of course, an underground librarian wouldn't have books, but they might have scrolls. I think that would be cool. And of course, the anvil and smelter type area, I think this would work good with the new block, the blast furnace as well, and just the different new blocks in those different ways. Side note, I really like my use of the bell here. Let me know in the comments if you like that. I was trying to find a way to incorporate it, and I am really happy with the way that turned out. So now that we kind of have the general idea of an underground village, why exactly would it be nice to find one underground? Whenever you go underground, you're obviously searching for treasure. This would be a very cool way to find various different treasures underground. Not only could we have an abundance of ore available, you could also find things like diamond, and with looting 3, that could be very rewarding to the player. Obviously, trading with the villagers could also be good, unlocking different things that they might only be able to find underground, and just looting the general place. We also don't really have different ways to get food and resources while you are underground. So stumbling across a village could be a great way to get different food while you're underground, instead of suffering and dying because you didn't prepare enough when you went caving. So there's a lot of good, opportunities with underground villages. I think this is, a very simple concept overall. I think it would be implemented in a much different way. This is an overly dramatic example of an underground village, but I think it turned out great. I think this would be an excellent way to provide life and, difference to the caves as we know them now. Now, realistically, we probably wouldn't see any of the new slabs and stairs because we don't really see those in landscaping in Minecraft currently. The only time we really ever do see them is on structures, so it's probably unrealistic to have something like this. But a man can dream. A man can dream. Now, as we take a look around this village, I've got to admit, villager houses underground were really hard to come up with. I struggled with this design so much. I really wanted to incorporate the normal villager A-frame house style, but it just didn't make any sense. With Neanderthals, they're really not going to be living some prime lifestyle. So I chose to do this overhang style using the spruce blocks here to create just a general overhang, something that they could have built very easily and doesn't really shield them from anything because there's nothing to really be shielded from. Obviously, if they're strong enough, they're going to be able to protect themselves against the different underground mobs, so they're not really hiding from rain or anything like that. And there is no night or day cycle for these guys because they are underground. Now, that being said, and taking a look around the place, we really need to figure out one more thing. Where exactly would we find underground cave villages? Now, in this example, I have built it pretty much right along the side of a ravine, and I think this looks really cool. Could you imagine exploring a ravine and seeing the shining light of an underground village? I think this looks very cool, and being able to have a pathway up to it would be awesome as well, and very ominous, and just seeing it all in its glory could look really cool. We could also see it in the bones. Now, this is something I forgot about. Obviously, in Minecraft, we've got the bone block. But did you know that we have underground fossils as well, like gigantic fossils? I don't think I've ever genuinely encountered one in survival Minecraft, but this could be a great way to bring them back in a new way. Perhaps you could have some really cool rib cage type bones be the centerpiece instead of obviously the fireplace here, and this could be exactly where it's built through, or even it could just be kind of peeking out the side of the village. You could even have the entrance be through kind of like a dragon head type skull. I think that'd be very cool. And like I said, I don't really ever see the fossils underground, so that'd be a great way to bring them in a very cool way. But guys, that is basically it for my underground village. This is something I'm really proud of. It really was difficult to put together, if I'm being honest, but I think the Mojang team could definitely pull an idea together a little bit better than this. Now, obviously, this is a very dramatic version of what we would find in Minecraft, but hopefully it's close enough. I think a lot of these ideas could definitely be used, and I definitely love the Neanderthal. That's right, buddy. I'm talking about you. This skin is just so nice. I love it so much. But let me know in the comments what suggestions and ideas you guys would have on this project, and let me know what you think of my idea. I think it's really cool, and I'm excited to see what villages do come to Minecraft 1.14, even if we don't see this idea or anything else I've really made recently. I think there's a lot of great stuff going on in the next update that leaves me excited regardless. So this concept is merely that. It's just a concept. And I won't be upset even if we never see this in the game, because the Mojang team has been working really hard lately, so we've got to give them that. But hopefully in the next update, the one after this one, we will see an update to caves. I'd like to see a lot more structures, updated dungeons, underground villages even. I wonder, where they would get that idea. But just different updates to the underground world, because I think right now it's very boring. But with things like this, it could bring it to life in a brand new way. Guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I've spent so much time down here that I have really turned into one of these guys. I've become one of their own. I am a Neanderthal now. But guys, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more building related content and live streams every weekday at 5 p.m. Central Time. You'll also get a lot more news with the 1.14 update and various different building videos. I'm sorry to turn my back to you guys, but the video's over. So thanks for watching. My name has been System Z. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.